I'd like to just say what was going through my mind to get the title Matariki to part A of this these two recordings here. This being part B. First of all came that the experience of falling in love was something like, well, it's a visitation of the Holy Spirit. But of course, it doesn't actually give us understanding, but experience of the consequence of heaven, the joy, the peace, the hope, the assurance, trust, faith. Overwhelming love. From stars I got to Matariki because, I don't know, it's midwinter, I suppose. Although I'm on the 5th of July now, in the southern hemisphere, of course, you understand, that is winter. And we had Matariki, of course, a couple of weeks ago, which is it the Pleiades, 7 stars? It got me onto Holy Spirit. But also Matariki, I thought, well, I haven't talked about Matariki in part A at all. Why have you called it that? Well, it was something to do with M. Now, M is, of course, Marshall, my initial. And so I was thinking of the sounds again. How's our language reflected some meaning in particular sounds rather than spelt words, you understand? Which I've referred to quite a bit in the past. And has sprung from my fascination with phonetic spelling and its simplicity and economy of effort, and blessing to spelling compared to what we, especially in English, have inherited, this cacophony of spellings to sounds, well, no relation at all, because such ambiguity. But enough of that. Mum, mate, more, marry, morning, mortuary. I'm not sure about that. Mortal, you see. Mystery, magical, moment, matter, Matariki. They are the words that we associate as starting with this sound. And you can think of many more, and perhaps I've been extremely biased without realizing it. But it's down that line of perception that the sounds of a word are a more reliable guide to its meaning than the spelling, which has come from the way things were spelt in the many different languages that have contributed to, well, in this case English, but your language. Languages come down from speaking differently in earlier times, and a whole variety of people that have spoken differently, that at some time or another have come into contact with each other, and the spelling has remained as trace of their role in the spelling and the culture that they came from. But the sound that the word has become through time becomes adapted to an appropriate meaning of the word. So if we look to the sounds, which is what we use in conversation, not the spelling, and we wish to represent the word that we use in conversation, then we should spell it according to its sound, phonetically, in other words. And what that phoneticism, what that phoneticism might be is more conveniently found to lie in how we use the sound in such words, rather than its historical, cultural and ethnic roots of how we spelt it once in the past. So this simplification of language, spelling to phonetic spelling, and rationalization of consistency saves especially children, but anyone learning the language, a great deal of unnecessary labour. I mean, extraordinary great deal. And as I say, constitutes perhaps the greatest economic saving ever. Except for the fact, the obvious, we've moved into an age where spelling's becoming irrelevant because we don't write, we record. And recordings are of sound, not spelling. We speak phonetically, not according to the spelling structure of our writing at all. So, my economy has probably come too late, and I know that. But I enjoy using it when it comes to a certain cloaking of the content of my recordings from the title that I give each. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. I should have therefore summarized what I think could be the meaning of ma, therefore, the sound. It is to match, to put with, to marry, more. In other words, a composite, made. Even mortal is to be matched for a while, temporarily, with the things of this world. And to be mortified is to be, well, the body rematched again with the earth, laid back, mingled. Mum, she embraces, and you're even born of her embrace, from her, you see. Mature is to become part of a composite, harmonious, matched future. Matching. You're ready for graduation. You have graduated. You're ready for heaven. The morning, all the light comes together, and everything is revealed more than one could imagine. Magic, the combining of the inexplicable in a mystery. Something that comes and belongs, is part of me. That me itself, the concept of me, is something of making, more that came together to be me. Be is birth, of course, the birth of me, to be me, born, to bear, to carry, to bring is to, there we are. How's that? To banish is actually to it's got A in there, something of God. It's to take, or to be carried away from, be banished. It's carried by God out, in this case. It's taken from here, the transitory world, but it's to an eternal world, being born into it. But stick with me for a while. Marshall, yes, Mars, well, that was associated with the god of war. Many people battling for some crushing combination, marriage of dominance over each other. To mash is to both crush but push together closer and closer, isn't it? So much so that the substance just sort of disintegrates. You have mashed potato instead of potato. Meek, again, is to be so pushed that you're pushed down, in fact, by the weight of something else. Well, perhaps that's not quite what meek means, but something of that. Michael, the archangel of I'm not sure, what's he associated with? Oh, well, hear this, this is from Google. Archangel Michael is primarily associated with protection, strength, and justice. He's often depicted as a warrior leading the heavenly army against evil forces. He's also seen as protector of humanity, the church, and individuals facing adversity. Okay, well, thank you, Google. Yes. And thank you, Heavenly Dad.